Yo, 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 hit 'em high, hit 'em low. Welcome to the Noble Just Ball podcast. It's your boy Nick Hughes alongside Alex Delgado, Brandon Brito. Yeah, it's baseball and stuff. There's a stadium behind me. I'm gonna start doing this every week. I think I'm just gonna start following where the Yankees are at first and just go from there. But yeah, we're at Camden Yards today, so
Yeah, it's a long time
ignore
ago.
the fact that there's a PNC logo all over my left shoulder. I think that was just briefly an advertisement at Camden Yards. That is
Oh,
not PNC Park, which is in Pittsburgh. Anyway,
please don't sue.
yeah, I was gonna say like
Out
I
of
gotta.
con-
I'm not gonna get slaughtered in the comment. Yeah. So also some big news for the podcast. I didn't want to break it to the two of you guys before we started, but we actually have our very first sponsor for this video. So for today's video, we're going to go ahead and shout out Team New York Baseball, who is launching their 2022 summer camp this year. All applicants and registrants and people looking for more information can email info@teamnybaseball.org. And thank you for sponsoring the video. Anyone at home who is watching and listening, if you would like to have your business, brand, etc., shouted out here on the podcast to our tens of viewers, do not hesitate to reach out. We're more than happy to do it.
We love free merch.
Hell yeah. Got me a six pack. So, I'm more than happy to accept all sponsorship payment in beer, as should the two of you. I think this is,
That's
what
why
a
I really want that Presidente one, man.
That would be ideal.
Yo,
For
it's
sure, for
perfect
sure.
one, man.
So
Or
yeah, I
we'll
mean,
do the Corona one and have Bad Bunny be our guest speaker.
either that or ready? We just get Red Solo Cup to do it.
I mean, at this point,
Like that'd be so ideal because then we don't really have to run into any issues with who likes what or who doesn't want this. That being said, all beer that is free is good beer. That's not true. You ever had Natty Light at a party?
Yeah, all the time.
warm natty light at a party.
Yep,
Ever
thousands
have Milwaukee's
specifically.
best?
No,
Come
I have
on now.
not.
Some Rolling Rock,
God,
some Genesee Cream Ale.
oh
Now
my
we're just
God.
talking about beers that you taste twice and taste disgusting. So
Yeah.
baseball.
God,
Yeah, baseball's happening.
Natter
Baseball has
days though.
huh?
Natter days. Let me tell you.
Uh-oh.
Yo, Natural Light came out with a Saturday beer. It was like pink lemonade, some bullshit. Bro, you bring a 12 pack of that to the softball diamond for a double header. It's a good day.
A good day for
It's
what?
a good day.
For who? The bathroom attendant who has to clean that up afterward?
Cleaning what up? They got to clean out and dingers.
Everywhere.
I was gonna say, my goodness, that sounds
Looking for the
like
fences,
something.
talking shit. Let's go.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. So I want to start off with as we start off with the actual baseball tidbit of the show. Want to start off with a fun little fantasy fact for everyone. We lost one of the undefeateds this week. I took down your younger brother, Nick Brito. And really big props to me. It was a team effort. I was up by 200 points headed into the weekend, and he closed the gap to 35.
I'm
So,
not surprised.
I had a rough Sunday.
Weekend Warrior will kill you.
Yeah, man, I really started
they
sweating
did.
that thing out. That was unfortunate.
Well, another news, we have just like we have one less undefeated team, we have one less unwinning team because two of the unwinning teams played each other and one had to win, and it was me. Yeah.
Wow, in the battle of the burritos, Brandon prevails. That is some big stuff there.
Slimmest of margins. I actually thought I was going to lose. I'd like to thank my mom, and I'd like to thank all my pitchers. And you guys did well.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Mama Dukes.
Alex, you almost took down an undefeated too this week, right?
Yes, I almost did. My pitching didn't prevail. I had a couple negatives in there that really took me down. Steven had some strong days where I didn't have anybody playing.
That is unfortunate. That is
Quite
unfortunate.
unfortunate. He had a
In
good
your defense,
Saturday
there was a
pitching.
lot of rainouts.
I know. I got Julian this week from last episode.
Okay. Yep.
Little brother duel. Let's see what happens.
Hey, man. Older
Back to
brother-
shout out with Julian though. I am gonna retract a statement from last episode.
Uh-oh.
So I watched the Angels on Prime, right? Because it was free. Shout
Okay.
out to Hannah for paying for it. But yo, I'm gonna say, first place. I think they're gonna take it.
Told
It's
you.
looking like some 02, 03, 04, 05 Angels.
I told you, dude. Back when Vladdy was Vladdy. Was he on the Angels then, or was that right after?
Yeah, he was on the Angels.
Yeah.
That was his first season, second season. But
I know he
all
went
right,
to-
so in that sort of vein here, I think this is a very interesting sort of like way to segue into, aside from fantasy baseball, regular baseball, and some of the signs you start seeing at this point, in the early going. We talked about it with the Mets and sort of that never say die, us against the world, team camaraderie thing that starts building and that you start pointing at. One of the other things I was going to point at with the Yankees right now is I look at it and I say it's this up and down the lineup. Dudes are just having a good time playing the game. And it's easy to have a good time when you're winning. I mean, anyone who's ever won anything has enjoyed the winning element of it. Yeah, always great. So you start to notice these things. And the Angels even, I agree with you right there. You get these, I think it's a very different sort of look for the Angels where it's
Different vibe for sure.
Where it's
Different vibe for sure.
what I was going to say is where we're
The look
talking
in their
about with
eyes is completely different from 2-3 years ago.
But it's beyond that. What I was going to say is it's a different field than even what we're talking about with the Yankees and Mets in a sense, because I'm looking at the Angels and I'm saying, where the Yankees and Mets are sort of these like team, and granted, Aaron Judge is leading baseball in home runs. I think he's like second in RBIs. The Mets, they have Max Scherzer pitching great baseball again, as per usual. So you have your actual superstars, but it feels like it's more of a team game with them. The Angels are, I feel like, being every day just one guy just grabbing the team by the throat and saying, "I'm winning this game."
Yeah,
it's a very different like game to watch almost.
Yeah.
When you start comparing some of the like division winners right now.
Well, like it's also interesting to say too, because with the Angels specifically, everyone's doubt going into the season was how are all these guys coming back from injury gonna gel for the first time around, and how are they gonna bounce back? I mean, they're household names. We all know the Mike Trouts. We all know the Noah Syndergaards. Shohei, I guess he wasn't injured, but he has to have a breakout. The MVP 2K MLB the show curse, whatever you want to call it, that shit is real. So they wanted to see like what was going to happen the season after. And quite honestly, things are going really smoothly. It's very, very much impressive. And they have guys that are stepping it up too. It's just pretty cool.
I know it's been fun to watch. And on the flip side, a team we've touched on a couple of times on this podcast, on the very flip side, the opposite side of the coin, totally here. The Cincinnati Reds.
Same color.
No hitter.
Can we call
Hunter
Bull right the
Green?
fuck now?
Wait. Hunter Green.
I'll call him Bull right the fuck now.
In my
bro.
opinion, I will consider that a ball. I think that this is like rehearsed. Something has to be good. Like someone pissed someone off in
Bro.
Cincinnati.
I mean,
the sequence, the
wait.
run scored,
Let me just finish for the fans who do not know what we're talking about. Cincinnati Reds pitched a combined no hitter and lost a game 1-0
in 9 innings.
Nine innings, essentially between Hunter Green, who had a phenomenal start, his first, I think, quality start statistically.
That's how it goes down.
Yeah, absolutely. Sucks that that's what it's going to, forever be remembered as. It's the 6th time in baseball history that this has happened. And that's a lot of history.
That's a lot.
But it's one of those things where nothing seems to go right. Also, over the weekend, there was a sequence in which I don't remember who it was out of their bullpen produced 3 consecutive foul pop-ups that could not be caught by any member of the team. There was a pop-up behind home plate that Tyler Stevenson trapped between himself and the back netting. Brandon Drury dropped a pop-up between himself and the dugout. and then a pop-up actually landed between every member of the infield for a base hit. Was the third one there. This is now like I called bull before because I said this team is not the worst team in baseball. Like on paper, they should not be.
Yeah, paper's a
This
funny
is
thing,
not adding up to me.
Roll
They're
it up and smoke
intentionally
it.
doing it. They're trying to find. I said it last week. They're finding a way to lose. Like
No.
it's their life mission.
It's bad baseball.
It's like so
How? Like you said, only six in the history of baseball.
By the way, fun fact, the first time that ever happened, the Reds were actually on the winning side, and you know who they won against?
Pirates.
The Colt 45s.
Oh,
Fun fact.
hell yeah. Wow.
My
I think it was like 1948.
45.
I saw that stat. I was like,
Exact.
hell.
This is just
I don't know.
I'm just so perplexed, I think. Because I look around baseball, and this is what I was touching on last week, is I look around baseball. Like in terms of actual roster construction, I don't even think they're the worst team in their division. If you're going on paper, the Pirates are a worse baseball team.
But they're
Or at
playing
least they should be.
halfway decent baseball.
Huh?
I said they're playing halfway decent baseball as a
and,
team.
I mean that's a perplexing thing in and of itself because their perceived best player in Brian Reynolds has not been off to the most auspicious start
At all.
Brian Hayes in and out of the lineup.
Exactly. So that's a whole different, and even I look at another team, the Yankees are playing them today. That's going on in the background over here for me. The Baltimore Orioles are 14-17.
Yeah.
Obviously it's not a winning record, but
Playing decent baseball.
they do not have the worst record in the AL East.
Yeah.
That belongs to the Boston Red Sox at the moment. On top of it, this is not a good constructed team. It's a very weird situation where, I'm looking at baseball right now and I'm going, I feel like there's, with the exception of the Cincinnati Reds, there's a lot more of a middle of the pack this year. It feels like, not for nothing, the expanded playoffs kind of did their job a little bit.
Yeah.
Or at least in the early going, it feels like more teams are competitive.
Yeah.
Because
they're just thinking
a little
about
surprising.
If they get a wild card, just the money revenue though.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like they get that wild card game. Even if they lose, they know they're gonna lose. But just to get onto that wild card game
from
money raking. So they're probably playing it differently.
From a player's perspective, you're sitting here like, all right, like it brings the added optimism, like we actually may go to the playoffs, like not only financially in terms of bonus money, in terms of like all that other stuff that incentivizes the players to want to do better, like just brings excitement to the team to think we actually have a chance to win this thing. Like we all know the Cinderella story of the miracle team that somehow squeaks into the wild card game and ends up fucking winning it all. So
I will say, I was gonna say, what is it? Your old school fans are gonna be like up in arms the first time like that third wild card team is in the World Series. They're going to lose their shit. Wait, Tony La Russa, it will never be matter.
Speaking of which, we're going to talk about old school fans and rule changing. I saw this last week where the new thing everyone's talking about is if you swing at a ball that hits you for strike 3, it shouldn't be an out, and they want to change that. That's absolutely ridiculous. I think that should, like, now we're getting a little bit too crazy here, in my opinion.
Can I
pull there?
No, but you swung.
Yeah, exactly. You're out. Exactly.
What I will say is
that should be a foul tip.
What I'm thinking is it has to be for very specific, like, because I know it's a very rare thing where a guy sort of like commits and it's almost a self-defense thing and he's like rolling out of the way on a high strike, like, or on a pitch high in his side. I get that, but still, I still say yes, it should be a strike.
You're out.
Quite frankly, I did not make it as a pitcher past the age of 12. That being said, though, I have to think as a pitcher, there's the strikeout, there's the perfect game. That little moment where you fool a man so bad, it's literally like insult to injury.
It's
Were
like
you-
when you fool a man that he swings and the ball goes straight between his leg right through the 5-hole. That's a
Oh man, didn't that also happen in Cincinnati Reds the other day?
that literally happened the other day.
I think it was Mike Moustakis actually. Yeah,
It was absolutely hilarious. I cried laughing watching that.
this is like
Watch Cincinnati Reds baseball.
yeah,
I just see scores and laugh.
it's basically like what the Washington Generals were for the Harlem Globetrotters. That is what the Cincinnati Reds are for the rest of baseball.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe this at this point. They're really unfortunate. Like it's really getting bad to watch and stuff.
Really.
You know, and I think I'm just confused by it more than anything else. So I just
Makes no sense. Oh shit.
it really doesn't.
Jake Odorizzi carted off the field after suffering apparent leg injury versus the Red Sox. That's what it was looking at
Yikes.
before.
Ooh, I just had
Oh, man.
9 non-contact too. So what are we thinking, boys? ACL?
oh god,
I don't know.
I have no idea there.
feel bad.
That's unfortunate. Yikes. They say how far he got into it because I also have him on my fantasy team.
No.
Like I'm wishing him the best, but I'm also wishing, you know, if I got some points out of it. I want it to not be an empty day.
Yeah, it happened an hour
That's
ago.
horrible.
So I don't know how far he got into the game, sir.
Oh, that's just miserable. I hate saying that.
His face is end of the 5th inning. 5th inning ended.
Gotcha. They're in a rain delay, I think, right now also.
That's
But I tell you guys, this has been a really weird season, I think, in terms of as I like glanced around the standings and stuff earlier.
Yeah, I'm liking the competitiveness.
Yeah, you like the competitiveness, but
Like,
I think
a
there's
lot
also
more than you've seen in the past, though.
no. I'm saying even just some of the teams that are on top right now. You
Yeah.
know, I
Brewers are 22.
none of us had like Julian came in last week and gave us all hell about not having the Angels. None of us had the Angels.
No, that was
I think the Yankees were a wild card team for Alex and I, but
No,
no one.
I had him winning
Did
the
you have
East.
Alex
division
had him
I
winning
had
it
him
all.
winning the East.
Did have him winning
Look
it
at this.
all.
I
My bad.
called
You're
this. I said
Right.
the Red Sox will not make
Okay,
sense.
fair enough. But I'm looking at it and I'm just thinking to myself, my goodness, like this is,
It's bad.
like it's something to behold, really. And then you look at teams that are now getting the Acuñas back. You got to think the Padres are about a month out from getting Tatis back.
I was gonna say you gotta hold off for the Acuna news.
And they're just getting Clevenger back, too.
Yeah, you just got Clevenger back. Look, huh?
Acuna's back on the shelf, dude. He got a groin injury.
Oh
He hasn't
god,
played for the last week, and we called it. We literally that's
Yeah.
what gave us props to this podcast. We called it, right? Like they're playing him in center field. He's doing too much, too fast. Now all of a sudden he hasn't played 3 out of the last 4 games.
Oh, God.
And they claim he's coming back tomorrow, but
yeah.
that's what one Twitter account says, and his Twitter account does not say the same thing. So I don't know.
Yikes. Shit, I didn't even realize he was out again. I was gonna say on the Padres front, they got Clevenger back. Snell comes back for them on Wednesday. So that's a team that's gonna be, really quickly approaching full strength again. Again,
Talking about teams trying to come back to full strength, though. You think with Ryu coming back for Toronto, pitching turns around and they start winning games again?
They need something.
I don't know how much he alone moves the needle.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot going on there in terms of I feel like I don't know. It's something is just off. And sometimes you have these team slumps and guys will click at the right time and turn it around and stuff. That's not something we haven't seen in baseball before. But I think going back to their Yankee series, there was a good amount of shit talking on their side about what the Yankees schedule and opponents looked like. And then the Yankees took, the series against them. And
then they went into Chicago.
Then it looked, I'm just saying, then it looked a little downhill for the Blue Jays from there. So I don't really know what happened, but it feels
the Blue Jays are a team. They literally, them and the Rays, like they have so much talent, but they always find a way to mess it up. Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand it. Like, you look at that. Speaking of roster configurations and names on paper, like, look at the names on these papers for these teams, and you're like, how are you? Like, I understand, like you said, Nick, everyone like finds a way to make it right, and the opposite, unfortunately, is that everyone finds the exact time to make it go wrong. But like, my goodness, you guys are really figuring it out how to go wrong, and I just sit and laugh because I'm like, thank God George Springer did not come to
Yeah.
the Mets.
He's playing good baseball this year, though.
He's playing good baseball, but he's been
I don't like him, but
when he's on the field, he's a very good ball player. That
yes,
has been the issue for George.
I will shout that out. He can play ball.
No, for sure. So here's my question for you guys. All of us now fans of division winning teams.
Yeah.
Or division leading teams, I should say.
Yeah.
My question for you, at what point do you start to feel confident in a division?
September.
Depends on where we're standing. He said September.
September.
It depends on how the rest of the
September 20th.
Okay, let me rephrase it. All right. At what point do you start, as a fan at least, obviously as a team itself, as the team itself, they got to go day to day. If they start getting ahead of themselves, they're gonna stumble quick. That's just par for the course. But I'm just pulling up the standings here real quick, and I look at it. The Yankees already hold a 5-game lead over the second place Rays.
Mhm.
All right.
I think the Mets
We're 34 games into the season. The Mets 5.5 games over the second place Phillies, who are under 500 altogether. The Angels and Astros are now tied atop their division, 7 games over the Mariners in conceivable second place. At what point do you start, as a fan, sort of fixating on, okay, we're in mid-May, things are looking good, get through this end of the month, and we're in June all of a sudden, and you start to think about things like, all right, trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely, huh?
When is that?
No, isn't it? It's in August.
Yeah, I think it was pushed to some point early August this year. So at what point do you start fixating on the things like, okay, for the Yankees, I know X, Y, and Z has been a weakness that we need to add to, the catching core, let's say. We got 2 backup catchers who've been playing phenomenal, but, you start to think, all right, how long can they do this? Or for the Mets, you start looking at it and go, okay, we could maybe add one more starter, or we could try to pad third base there. At what point do you start, really fixating on the ideas and trying to get a sense of, what teams might be selling?
I think at the end of the day, we say around the trade deadline, but like it varies by division, by year. So like if you're ahead in your division, if you have a healthy lead like this by, let's say, mid-July, late July, I think you're definitely, like, you'll know that you're a buyer for one, and at that point you'll know who are sellers, because the bottom dwellers in your teams, not named the Reds, because everybody knows they're going to be selling. The bottom dwellers are like,
they sell.
Trying to get
There's nothing to sell. Ken Griffey Jr. The top is like top 5 for highest salaries for the Reds this year.
It's nuts.
For me,
Come
that's
on.
just a.
But to finish the point, I think come a week or two, since they moved the trade deadline up, a week or two after trade deadline, like I think with the expanded playoffs, with everyone being a middle of the pack team, if you're not a leader in the division, I think like Alex said it as a joke, but really beginning September, late August.
Yeah,
really
for sure. You got some game leads, and you got depth, as these teams that are leading right now know they have depth in the farm system.
Yeah,
and you can kind of sort of rest guys beginning of September, and then let them get their swing back leading into the playoffs. And hey, like Washington, if you can catch it hot,
it's wild. I hope not.
Well,
okay. So then on the flip side, because I mean, Brandon, you've been there much more recently than Alex and I. But when you're out of it,
so sad. This
at what point, and ready, the really big one I look at right now is the Boston Red Sox, a team who is now they're
12 games behind.
12 games under, or 12 games behind the division lead. 8 games under 500. Again, we're just in mid-May, and there's there's obviously the chance for a comeback. What was it? The year the Cubs won the World Series, they started the season not too hot. The Nationals were the team who was below 500 at the trade deadline, whatever the hell it was.
I mean, look at last year with the unfortunately with the Braves. Like they weren't too hot. Contract deadline made a few key acquisitions and
exactly. So at what point though, if you're really falling out of it, because I look at the Red Sox and specifically I key in on the trade deadline element of it.
Yeah.
Because when you're a team you have discernible talent who is on contract, in contract years, if you will. I really, I look at the Red Sox and I go, all right, Kike Hernandez, this is his walk year. Nathan Eovaldi, it's his walk year. Barnes in the bullpen, walk year.
Xander Bogaerts.
Yep. So at what point do you start keying in on those guys and say, all right, this isn't the year. We still have talent. We still got some guys coming up. Maybe we punt on this year, get what we can for these guys before they ditch us. Especially a guy ready like Xander Bogaerts, who's justifiably unhappy because he's done nothing to lose his job, but they brought in a conceivable better shortstop anyway.
Yeah.
Like at what point do you start thinking, there's a good chance he's not coming back here?
With the Red Sox is just weird because I truly think like the Yankees, and I'll admit this when I say this, they're one of the teams that I just don't see based on history, based on the way that their like management brass views teams. They don't really ever seem as sellers at the end of the day. Like they always like figure it out. Even people like I mean Xander Bogaerts is a very, very specific scenario. Some can argue Mookie Betts, but that wasn't a like trade. That was like a sign somewhere else kind of scenario, wasn't it? Like
no, they traded him.
They traded Bellatendi, and they also, I think, they traded Omar Garcia-Parra in a playoff run.
Maybe, yeah. But maybe
the Red Sox. I was gonna say the Red Sox do they don't rebuild, they retool.
Yeah.
Where they'll like sell off their existing like contracts and then go out the next all season and get new ones.
Yeah,
is what they do every year. But I'm just curious about that. At what point this year do they punt on this season and say, all right, we're looking up at 3 teams definitively, because the Orioles are, the Orioles, but we're looking up at 3 teams who are equal, if not better than us talent-wise, and are now a sizable amount of games ahead of us.
I would say talent-wise, Red Sox are better than Tampa.
Yeah, I agree.
But I mean, there's still 2 months of like baseball until the trade deadline. I would say you don't know until that trade deadline date what the Red Sox will do, depending where they are in the division. Yeah, they're last now, but I mean, I will give them credit. They could play decent baseball.
Yeah. I stand with my point at last week. Like
they can think be third or second by trade deadline.
That's fair. But
I like 500. I really do. I stand with my point last week. I think they're going to be competitive.
I'm going to be honest. I hope so, just because I always believe, baseball is always at its best when the Yankees and Red Sox are killing each other at the top. I think it's
I'm liking this Yankee Toronto little rivalry thing again.
It's cute, but it's not. It'll never be
90s stuff.
I mean, it's one of those things. I think it's for me. I look at it and I say, when the Yankees are getting mixy with any team, it's fun. But there's something about when that team has Boston tattooed across their chest. Something just takes that, and I think it's for all New York sports. Truth be told, like when you see Boston across that chest, oh my goodness, does that feel good? I'm not even
Boston College.
I'm not particularly a hockey guy. This is not a hockey pod, but the Rangers advance in the playoffs, and I'm thinking that Boston's coming out again out of the other side to play in this round to go to the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm getting excited because I'm thinking, all right, I'll watch some hockey if it's New York Boston, man. That's an easy sell. It does not matter who the specific team is at that point. There's something just, what's the word I'm looking for? It's something fiery about a New York Boston matchup always that I'll always I think tops anything else in sports.
Because it's always guaranteed to be a good time, I mean, look at it. Even the truthfully, the few titles the Mets have are against Boston. Thank you, Boston. I would love to have them in the World Series. History has shown that we do pretty well when that happens. So I'm not complaining. Gotta love Bill Buckner, huh?
I was just going to say, my man Bill Buckner. I don't know how that man doesn't have his jersey retired by the New York Mets at this point.
He should have a statue too, for what it's worth.
Absolutely, man. It's yeah. I mean, I just think there's so, I don't know, because I even look at other teams this year. Detroit was supposed to be a lot better than what they are.
Yeah,
sure.
I never understood the hype around Detroit. I think I thought they were going to suck this year, and I said I was like, this is building blocks for next year. I think that they have the marquee names in there. They have the interest for future guys. And so now I think next year they may like do something well, but this is Miggy's farewell tour, dude. They're not focused on anything else other than that.
That's true. The other thing is the NL West right now.
It's looking nice. I was just looking at it.
Ready? So the standings go as such. The Dodgers are 21-12. Padres 22-13. Giants 20-14. 3 teams separated by a game and a half. It's the only division with 3 20-game winners. If I'm not mistaken, the AL West and AL East both have 2 20. But yeah, you want to talk about intensity. You want to talk about good baseball to watch in the early going and hopefully continuing. The Dodgers are a stacked team. They're out. They're missing
Kershaw.
Blake training. Kershaw's out. Yeah. Max Muncy has not been Max Muncy. So there's some things for them to still get right. The Padres we talked about earlier with Tatis being out, they're getting their starting pitching back now.
They signed all of our boys, Robinson Cano. Welcome to the Padres.
I was going to say the Padres are just in a state of, I think at this point they've decided we've spent too much to not keep spending now.
Just keep going.
Yeah, they're just gonna go crazy with this. I don't know what else to say.
Well, I mean, in the Cano scenario, all that money is really coming from the Mets. So he probably
for sure.
He's playing there for a bag of sunflower seeds and a beer.
Basically. And I will say it does benefit the Padres substantially to have him out there.
Definitely the clubhouse.
I was going to say, well, the clubhouse, he could split time between DH, second base. You allow Jake Cronenworth to go play some shortstop for them.
Yeah, although I don't know. He made some ridiculous error to have them lose. I think his very first game at second base, they threw the ball to him at second to the cut, and he just straight up whiffed on it, and the game-winning run came home. And I was like, what happened?
Man, it's new surroundings. I don't know.
Game catches up with you every once in a while.
I don't know what to say, man. At this point, I don't believe.
I don't know what to say. We watched Jeter at shortstop for just a little longer than you maybe should have.
Yeah, for sure.
I love you.
I just look at it and I say, the Padres picking up the note. They did not think they were getting anything special. This is we had a spot on the 40-man. We're gonna add someone with some name value who might be able to
sell some tickets.
I guess. I don't think the Padres
salary hole we have.
Yeah, I was gonna say we got some help paying his contract, and I mean I don't know what else to say about that really. The Cano is just there to pad the offense to whatever degree he can for a month and a half, and I wouldn't be terribly surprised if he does not finish the season on the Padres roster. Yeah. I look at it and I say, 40-man crunch with Tatis coming back, it's probably gonna. Don't you know?
Robbie Cano, I know you're gone. Speaking of that division, though, let's touch, in my opinion, let's touch on something that it's a debatable topic. We all are on the right side of the debate, I think, but just to speak our minds about it. I don't think we've talked too much about it yet. The whole Trevor Bauer situation. That suspension. It's a good, in my opinion, and I'll just start it off. I think he deserves it. He's a guy who kind of was talking a little too much for his liking, and he got on the wrong side of the MLB. I mean, whether they were right for a 2-year suspension that's not drug related or confirmed, because it's alleged, confirmed sexually doing anything too bad there. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, he's wrong for it. And I mean, the man's been quiet, and I think we saw the last Trevor Bauer, guys. I don't think we'll ever see him again.
No,
I think I agree with you. We will not see Trevor Bauer play Major League Baseball again. I do agree with you on that. I think he has his appeal or whatever set for this month or next, whatever it is. Even if he wins it and is reinstated, I think based on just what has happened already, the Major League Baseball will greenlight the Dodgers to cut him entirely.
The team members have come out last year saying even if he comes back, we don't want him.
Exactly. So it's become this situation where, I can't even imagine. Like, I can't imagine who would. I actually know exactly. The only owner I think who would say, you know what, screw what Major League Baseball thinks at this point is your boy Uncle Stevie.
Yeah, no.
But
the way that happened.
I was just gonna say that's the one caveat though, is the whole like spurning the Mets to go to the Dodgers.
The way that happened, dude, we dodged that summer, man. I'm telling you, we dodged a major bug. We dodged George Springer signs this huge deal, doesn't play for 95% of the season. Trevor Bauer spurns us, is officially out of baseball. Whatchamacallit? Then we have this past summer, we have Steven Matz, who, thanks to him, he should have his own statue because he brought us Max Scherzer single-handedly. It was nuts.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the Trevor Bauer thing specifically, I just think, this is another instance of, and I hate to say it this way, Major League Baseball doing the holier than thou, the New York, where was it? It was in California. Was the charges brought up, or was it somewhere else?
Yeah, it was in San Diego.
I think it was California.
Okay, so in California, their Supreme Court found him not guilty. And then in an appeal or something, she eventually dropped the charges altogether, was I think the second result. I think it's a weird stance for baseball to still say you're wrong in our eyes.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I feel like that's a weird,
I mean,
I don't know what
back to the MLB's hypocrisy though.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, you have Ozuna, you had what Chapman did. I mean, for sure, the dude from Pittsburgh, like that guy, fuck him, rotting somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, what it
but
the list goes on and on.
If you're gonna ban like Bauer, I mean,
well, this is the thing.
Give him the sentiment. What Ozuna did was almost worse.
Very much worse.
I would say definitely worst.
I mean, no offense to your boy.
These other guys have done.
What he did was pretty bad too.
I'm just sick of the hypocrisy.
Not for nothing. Major League Baseball,
a lot of questions around it. It's just
has never been a big fan. Like I will say, the establishment of Major League Baseball has never been a big fan of Trevor. Whether it be
he's outspoken. He's gonna tell Major League to go fuck themselves.
Oh, of course. He's outspoken, but he's peeled back the curtain, in the clubhouse, the locker room. He's pissed off a ton of teammates and ownership with that stuff at every stop along the way. Going against, whatever the conventional workout plans were, because he knows best. He was like the guy blowing not the original whistleblower, but he was doing breakdowns on the Astros cheating scandal when Major League Baseball was very much trying to hush it up. I think it's a situation. Major League Baseball wanted a chance to get rid of this man.
Yeah.
And this, not for nothing, they took advantage of a situation that presented itself.
Yeah. And that is as much on him as it is on Rob Manfred too. It's like, dude, you're like you said, you're making enemies everywhere you go. Like no one's doubting your baseball talent.
Yeah.
They're doubting you as a person. Like they're sitting here, your own teammates in the locker room are straight up saying, if he comes back, we are going to boycott. We don't want him back. Like, what is that? That should say it enough about you. Like, if, in a situation like this, especially if,
but I will say,
this alleged thing didn't happen and all these charges are dropped, your team would want to rally around. I mean, look at, not for nothing, look at the whole Cano situation. We brought him up a little earlier. Like, he sat everyone down. I mean, everyone's still disappointed in him. Everyone was kind of, tiptoeing around it. But at the end of the day, he still has the respect of the locker room. This guy lost everything.
No, I agree with you on that, and it says something. And more so, he was only a Dodger for what, a couple months before this,
If that,
before like the allegations came out and everything.
Collected none of that money, which makes it so much better.
No, for sure. But beyond it, I think for him to have already run afoul of all of the Dodgers in the process of just a couple months. I think is a little crazy. The other thing I really didn't like about how Major League Baseball handled this, we knew this was the route. I don't think anyone in baseball doubted that this was the route that they were headed, outside of maybe like your brother who drafted him in fantasy.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I think everyone sort of had a sense that this is where this was going. I think we knew ultimately baseball was going to blackball him from the league regardless. He was not going to be welcomed back with open arms at any point. And like I said, I think the only owner currently in baseball who would have theoretically done the whole, all right, screw it, I hate Major League Baseball too, he already pissed off. So, that's I don't know where he goes from here. I
also see Houston picking him up.
They have too much. they have too much to deal with.
They're like, we can't.
Right?
Yeah, man. There's certain, not for nothing, there's certain teams who have done enough. Yankees can't pick them up either. Let's be real. Yankees cannot pick them up. The Astros cannot pick them up. Boston cannot pick them up.
The Reds can pick him up. That'd be a good story.
Oh yeah, it goes back to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Where you won a Cy Young. I mean, at least maybe people would show up.
No.
Without paper bags.
They're still there. We'll probably get more attendance at the athletics games.
Like, yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, this is unfortunate because I think the most unfortunate part is he was a great player at the literal peak. We were finally getting to see what he looked like when baseball adopted all the crazy, like training methods and like analytics and spin rate, all the stuff that he was preaching for a very long time. Baseball finally caught up to it. So we were finally going to see him get to pitch in an era that valued what he valued. So I think that for that alone, it's kind of a loss for Major League Baseball. But that being said, it's this whole thing was just handled terribly.
God awful.
It's so bad.
Also, I think
on all sides.
Also, I just want to make sure people know this. I also think he handled this terribly, aside from the specifics of what transpired. And for those who don't know, the allegations were that he was physically abusive to a woman during a pair of sexual encounters.
They were having an entanglement.
Yes, I think that's a different thing.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think that might be something else.
Before.
But he basically afterwards, like while there's an ongoing investigation and while there's like court hearings, he's going on his YouTube channel and like really sounding off on this girl and like, sounding off on Major League Baseball the whole while for not coming to his defense and
helping his case so much, right?
Yeah, I was just gonna say like all of like you could
quiet, man.
You could literally tell somebody, hey, this is all of the wrong things to do. This is like an instructional video that they can use for like Players Association from here on out of things not to do if you find yourself in trouble. And it's just going to be his YouTube channel. I don't like,
So you guys down to move on to a more fun topic? I think.
Yeah.
I think he's
Oh, for sure.
You want to touch it anyways?
I got a question that I think will brighten the mood, make everyone happy. I just was like looking things up. They have a couple of early Cy Young Award predictions, right?
Ooh.
We're gonna do the AL right now because I was just like, you know what, some interesting names here. We have for really, really way too early Cy Young Award predictions.
Nasty
Number
Nestor.
1, Kevin Gausman. Number 2,
Pitching good.
Justin Verlander. And number 3, Nasty Nestor, aka Nestor Cortez. Obviously, maybe a little biased here, but who do you boys think out of these 3 is going to be the reigning Cy Young winner?
So we're going most likely to sustain and win in the end.
Yeah, of these 3 specifically, just because they're right now like way too early predictions.
Yo, if they can sustain what they're doing for the year,
No, but most likely to sustain.
Most likely, or who is your guess out of these 3 to win the Cy Young this year? Let's just leave it at that.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I have to pick now 40-something-year-old Justin Verlander.
I don't want to. So that's why I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm really upset about it, but it's like at this point, I'm convinced, as if the stats didn't already prove it, hardware doesn't already prove it. He's like one of the rare pitchers with an MVP. He's been phenomenal at every stage of his career, and he's coming back from, it wasn't Tommy John, it was something else. Was it Tommy John?
I think it was.
It might have been Tommy John. He hasn't pitched since 2020.
Yeah.
And to come back and instantly be this good through, let's say, 5-6 starts.
Yeah.
For me is
a couple times.
That's what I'm saying. For me, this is proof of, this isn't a flash in the pan. This is sustained greatness at a level I think we have rarely ever seen. Verlander is Verlander at this point. You know what you're going to get. The last time we saw him for a full season, he won a Cy Young. Yeah. This is not, a crazy thought anymore. Like this
I had him as my comeback player of the year, but Cy Young, hey man, go for it, win
Jesus.
both.
Alex, what did you have?
I'm taking Nestor Cortez, man.
Nasty Nestor.
If he can sustain what he's doing for the whole season,
agreed.
Somebody that adopted a little bit of analytics on spin rate, let me mess their timing up.
Do you think he wins Rookie of the Year on top of it too?
What's up?
Does he win Rookie of the Year also? Is this Rookie year, right?
No, he passed his he passed his rookie limits. Technically, he debuted in like 2018 or something.
Yeah, he played with the Orioles for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he debuted with the.
Wasn't the Orioles? He got traded to Orioles.
No, he debuted with the Yankees, I believe. Then went to Seattle, Baltimore, back to New York, and then had that run at the end of the year last year, which is now sustained to now.
Yeah.
Dude, the man, he's got some filth. I'm not gonna lie, I'm very happy I picked him up.
If he can keep it up, keep it where his ERA is at, and give some quality innings.
There is no way
you can compete with any strike.
1.35. You cannot. That's not real. DeGrom tried to do it, and he blew out his arm for the second half. There's no way.
No, see the way how he's pitching is how you save your arm for the whole season.
That's true. I'll give that to you.
I hear what you're saying. Look, no one will be happier than me. Like, if he's still doing this at the All-Star break, I don't think they sell them, but I will go find a Nasty Nestor. I'll do the custom made. Like,
I'll buy one. I'll buy one. Everyone loves him. I've not seen a single person who does not like Nestor Cortez. You can't. Even if you strike you out.
Yeah. With 49 strikeouts, 12th.
All right. So then what was out of curiosity, what's the NL look like?
Let's see.
Yeah, Pablo Lopez.
Yeah, they were like
Pablo Lopez.
Literally, it's like who can catch Pablo Lopez?
Miles Moustakas.
It's Pablo Lopez 1, Corbin Burns 2, and Miles Moustakas 3. And they actually have a dark horse here. Hold on. The dark horse is Max Scherzer.
Yeah.
But Pablo Lopez is. I mean, we all know my vote's gonna be Max Scherzer, but Pablo Lopez, man, that guy is. It's weird because like I look at the Miami Marlins rotation, right? We have Sandy Alcantara, who everyone was talking about coming into the season. The guy, the man, the myth, the legend. The third, not rookie, but the third young guy whose name is escaping me right now. It's Pablo Lopez, Alcantara, and who's the other? Trevor Rogers. I don't know.
Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah, Jesus Luzardo. But I mean, Jesus Luzardo, like he had a resurgent year. We could say that because he had a couple of down years. But it's like the fact that like they have so many. Like it's like I genuinely, as a Mets fan, I'm more scared of the Miami Marlins the way that they're constructed than I am of any other team in the division because they literally they're sneakily like winning games. No one is talking about it, and like they're gonna end up in the playoffs, and I'm gonna be nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, that's fair. I look at that list and I say the thing that sticks out to me specifically of those names is Corbin Burns. And the thing about it, I will say, is when it comes to Cy Young voting, it's not like MVP voting where there's that voter fatigue. It's, voters are happy to hand out Cy Young awards to Jacob deGrom for 5 years straight. That's not a question mark. So I think same thing goes now when you have Corbin Burns doing this thing for 2 years in a row. If he can sustain this level of success, he proved he literally just did it a year ago. And if he's in his prime, there's no reason to think there's a sudden drop off, after 7 starts in the year. I think this is definitely something we see riding out.
Okay, I have a question for you then. Because we were talking about this before, come trade deadline, Brew Crew end up happen to be sellers. Corbin Burns is dominant. Do they sell?
I think it's too early. I think he still has like 2 years of team control.
Still have 3 years.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they could get.
I think it's too early to sell on him, but instead they'd sell on.
I would say Christian Yelich.
Well, no, they locked him up for too much. They can't move that contract right now. It would be Josh Hader, would be the first one. Omar Narvaez behind the plate. I'm trying to think who else they have that would be like an easy move. Lorenzo Cain, maybe. Like
not that easy. I think Cain's past his prime.
I think it's his. It's a contract year. So, at that point, I think you could. Yeah, that's a tough one. But again, I look at that division though, and I say the odds of the Brewers slipping. They're in first place right now. The odds of them slipping all the way out to, you got to think they got to drop below at least the Cubs and Cardinals for them to feel that way. And the Cardinals have been on it. I'm just looking at the standings right now. The Pirates are actually in third place in this division.
That's cool.
The Pirates are a game and a half above the Chicago Cubs. And then the Cincinnati Reds are, they don't really deserve any.
We don't talk about them. They're not team.
Like I said, I want to see them play some Savannah Bananas with Jake Peavy pitching.
We don't talk about Votto. No.
Votto's injured. He's not playing right now.
He's hurt.
He had a really cool warm-up jersey though. I forget what the anime was, but he was like in the cages with a cool warm-up jersey earlier today.
I have a Joey Votto rookie card.
You really?
Yeah.
It's signed?
No, I wish. I've been trying. I haven't gone that way yet.
All right, guys. Any other points you guys want? Or?
No, I was gonna say, Brandon, I'll give you the opportunity to call Bull tonight. If you got one in the tank.
I got the opportunity to call Bull. Who am I gonna call Bull on? Who really pissed me off this week? I call, honestly, it's there and I'm staring right at it. I call Bull on how ridiculous the Reds are this year. It's like really annoying. Like the fact that I watched on Sports Center, it was either yesterday or the day before, I forget when that actually happened, but they lost a no-hitter in 9 innings. Like you have to be like, I don't care what anyone says. Like the fact that management is keeping it so hush-hush, how well they are managing this team so poorly.
I think they only had like 4 hits too.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was like, I sat here and like I felt bad for their pitcher. He literally stretched himself out to like 130 pitches, made it, and I was like you're actually like you're gonna make history, not for what you want to make history for. Like this is embarrassing.
If you don't mind, Alex, I'm gonna call ball actually.
Oh,
And
I
I'm gonna
wanted to call ball on Jose Trevino today.
Yeah, Jose Trevino hits his first home run with the
some
Yankees.
work.
But I actually want to call ball on the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, second
in the AL East. They climbed up from I think they were in the third spot for a nice little bit to open the season. But this is a team who has been at the top of the AL East for quite some time now. They are a team who, for some reason, despite not really getting worse, everyone jumped, the Blue Jays over them definitively. In some cases, people have Red Sox, Yankees, and or kind of situation. So potentially 3 teams above them. And they have quietly amassed another, really strong start. They're 5 games out from a Yankees team that really no one saw being this hot out of the gate. You didn't see him being this hot, man. No one saw this.
No.
Necessarily. No. This is a late July.
You did talk about the potential of this, though.
Of course, but I'm saying with the Rays, they've done this again. You touch on the fact that they have no superstars. They are not a on paper team, but they keep finding ways to be a very good baseball team. Yeah. We're still waiting to see if they're ever able to actually get over the hump in one of these given years. But they're consistently good now. And they found ways to be consistently good, despite the fact that they don't want to pay anyone not named Wander Franco. That's really the only guy they're paying, and that's okay. They found a way to make it work without anyone else having to make money, and that's really cool. I don't know how they're doing this, but it's really, really fun to watch.
I mean, yeah. They bring good
farm systems. I mean, they've had a good farm system for a very, very long time.
But it goes beyond farm system because then they bargain hunt in free agency. They bring in guys. Corey Kluber. Everything the Yankees wanted Corey Kluber to be last year, he is currently for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's their best starter.
He got lit up last game, and he threw
but that's one bad outing. I'll tell you about the fact that he's been consistent.
I'll one up you that Corey Kluber, Brandon Lowe, the guy that we signed and stole money for us for a couple of years, and is now killing it on them for the past couple of years. So like they figure out a way to just get it going. I'll give you that.
Made the outfield work. Rosarena getting Margot out there.
It's just a fun team to watch. Absolutely. But gentlemen, this has been real. It has been nice. It has been real nice. Thank you again for doing this with me. Folks at home, thank you guys for watching, and be sure to tune in again with us very soon.